Welcome back to another episode of Bischel Ball. Glad to be back. Before we introduce our guest for tonight, we got to introduce our new co-host, Kory Klingenbeck. Guy's a pure West Sider, Elder grad, UC grad, just a ball player. Kory, thanks for being a part of this thing, and we're glad to have you on.
Yes, sir. I'm fired up. I just want to say, give a congratulations to JP Sponseller on his recent engagement out in Colorado. Yes, sir. All fired up about that. Congrats, dude. But yeah,
it was a big day. It was a big day. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. Anyway, this episode we will be covering who the Bearcats landed in this summer's transfer portal. Not too many people better to have on to help us out with that than Coach Kyle Pettoruto. Coach, how we doing?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me. This is going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And I know I mentioned in the tweet, we already got a couple more viewers earlier than usual. Sorsby, unfortunately, has to attend a team dinner at Coach Satterfield's house. So I guess that's probably a little bit more important than spending time with us tonight. But yeah, let's get right into it. Coach, this is obviously your third year coming up with the Bearcats. Came in with Coach Bischel. Just talk about kind of your story, your start in coaching, and how you ultimately have landed at UC.
Yeah, so I came here from Rutgers University. I spent 4 years there, and then prior to that, I was at Bryant University for 6. I had the same boss, Steve Owens, who's currently the head coach at Rutgers, but I was with him at Bryant and the 4 years at Rutgers. So, I'm on my second boss in my career, or third boss technically, but so it was a big change. I'm a Northeast guy, never really spent significant time out this way, but I'm glad I'm here. It's awesome. It's a special place, as you guys know, and just looking forward to building that thing, and just kind of making steps every year. And I think we've done that so far with the hard work of guys like Cole and Kory and a bunch of other guys the first 2 years. So we'll see what year 3 brings.
Yeah, I was going to say, from where you coached and have been at, Cincinnati probably feels like Florida at times, weather-wise, to you.
Yeah, a little bit. Although last winter was weird, man. It's so funny. The first year, yes, like it was unbelievable. I was like, this is nothing compared to what I was used to. And then, as you guys know, we got whacked a bunch last year. And I remember shoveling my driveway, and I'm like, my neighbor was out there, and I was like, hey, like, what's this about? I didn't move to Kentucky for this. Like, what's going on? They were like, yeah, this is the worst winter like in 10 years. So hopefully it was just, a one-off thing, but yeah, this is great. I love it here.
Yeah, so to kick us off, give me some of your favorite things about just the city of Cincinnati so far in your first couple of years, whether it be a restaurant or anything.
Boathouse, 100%. That's where we take every single recruit. It is awesome. The food is outstanding. I really love watching Coach Dubs just shove ribs down.
Dubs.
It's the best. Same thing with Coach Sheriff. I love going out to eat with those guys. So that's been, and honestly, I'm sure there's other great spots. It's just the job has been so time consuming. Like I don't know enough, to be honest with you. But the campus is unique. Obviously our facility is unique, and that's, and I think it's the convenience of it too. Like it's 50,000 students, but it doesn't feel like a campus that holds 50,000. And I think that's all super unique, especially where I came from, where a lot of the campuses were like super spread out and kids are taking buses and whatnot. This is really nice and kind of gives you that small school feel, small town feel, just like the city. But also you get like the big time exposure of the Big 12 and all that great stuff. So it's awesome.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. To piggyback off that, you mentioned you were at Bryant. You began at Mary Mac. You were at Bryant. Then you went to Rutgers, all stayed in the New England states. And you started your family at Rutgers. What has been the easiest transition from school to school, family, and what's been the hard? Give me one easy and one hard transition you experienced in the last 10 years.
The hardest is definitely like I grew up in Massachusetts. That's where my family is. Heather, my wife, her family's in Virginia. The hardest part is always like we've kind of just migrated further and further away. And we got 2 little ones. So that's that's always the challenging part. Like my mom's here right now, which I'm thankful for. She comes down probably 3-4 times a year to spend some time. So that's definitely the hardest part. The easiest, man, I don't know. I've never really thought of it like that. I guess you guys know me to be Mr. Negative, so I never really thought of like the easiest part of the transition. I think honestly, the most attractive part, on top of the campus and like what we can offer guys, um, is certainly the Big 12. It is, as you guys know, like it doesn't matter if you're playing the first place team or the last place team at a given time. Like you are going to have your hands full, and if you don't play clean baseball, so that sell in itself to players has made my job a little bit easier. It's kind of funny. I was texting with Cole earlier. I was a little bit in a bad mood because I got another kid telling me to kick rocks. But like at the end of the day, like it's been a lot easier. And as I told Cole earlier, like the challenge is not getting the commitment. The bigger challenge is like getting these kids here, because once we get them here, like our shooting percentage is off the charts. It's such a cool place, as I've said before. But we just got to get them here, and they got to see it. And a lot of them, they tend to say like, I had no idea this place was like this. So it's just getting that message across, and then coupling that and getting them to campus, and then the Big 12, and that's certainly been a little bit easier for me compared to other places I've been.
Well, I was talking. I know you just mentioned we were talking about KP. I think we've mentioned it on here before though too, John. Is like I can name like 8 or 10 guys that came to Cincinnati, whether it be for like a grad transfer situation or they weren't from here and came here as a freshman and spent all 4 years here. Once they like were in Cincinnati for at least a full year, they did not leave the city. Like they stuck around, and they might be over the river, but they're still in the Cincinnati area. And I think that just like is a testament to the campus, like what UC has to offer, and then just the city of Cincinnati itself. I think that's a big.
I mean, that's probably one of my favorite things about the city is like Coach kind of talked about, like it is a small town feel where like a lot of people know a lot of people and people kind of stick around. But at the same time, you got big time professional and college sports, which are, I mean, when you grow up in the Midwest, that's the most fun thing to do. So
I couldn't afford to go to a Red Sox game, or when I was in Jersey, I couldn't afford to go to a Yankee game. It's like it's ridiculous. And then when you come here and you see how affordable it is and like family friendly to go to the Great American ballpark, it's like it's a no brainer. It's awesome. And I know you guys after practices in the fall venture your way down there for Dollar Dog Night or whatever. It's easy.
They're in a playoff race right now. I think tickets are like $16. It's gotten up there.
Oh, that's great.
That's all right. I can go out to a Rockies game for about $8 a pop right now.
Yeah, dude. That's gotta be nice. I haven't ever taken my – this is a bad thing. I've never really taken my wife to too many places. That needs to change. But I have taken her to Denver, and we went to 2 Rockies games. It was unbelievable.
The park's awesome. Yeah.
Beautiful. We got like right above the third base dugout for like, I don't know, like you said, $15 a piece.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
Dude, you were talking about just getting guys here. Getting guys here has always been your struggle, and Cole can allude to this too, but you're so dedicated. You love this place. I've felt that in the 2 years I was with you. Cole knows how dedicated you are. And I've personally seen it in practice. I happened to play second base quite a few times this past year, which was kind of a shot from the dark. But, I was sticking out at second base, and I just know how dedicated you are and how fired up you can get. Where does that fire come from, and where does that hot seat come from when you bring guys up in the infield and practice on a random Monday in the spring? Because I know you're working even harder in the spring, but in the fall, sometimes you don't even want to be around you in the fall because you're so fired up in practice. But where does that fire come from? I know you're so dedicated too.
I think it's a couple of things. First and foremost, and this is like that, I guess the cheesy answer, but for people that know me, it's the truth. Like it's you guys. It's the guys that like it's seeing you and Cole in there like taking extra work on a random like November Thursday, and you're like, okay, well. if these guys wanted that bad, then I gotta own up on my end of the bargain as a coach, and you know that's kind of what I tell recruits too. Like, I don't claim to sit here and think that I know everything about hitting. I don't claim, like, I'm not that guy, but I think the message that I try to get across is that I'm there for you when and if you need me. And that's not just limited to practice. That's outside of practice. That's before or after, whatever, at night, if you need me watching film, or, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, I love helping people. And I think that kind of spurs from, like, I was just a regular player, man. Like, I wasn't an All-American. I wasn't an All-Conference player. Like, I wasn't any of those things. And I remember what it was like to feel, what it was like to struggle. I remember what it was like to be in your own way. And that was kind of the crux of why I got into it. Like, after my junior year, I was like, I'm not going to be a pro player, but I want to stay in this, and help people as much as I can. And I think those are kind of two driving forces for me, that motivate me every day. And then obviously, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, the wins are the best part. I mean, one of the best parts. Say, like, beating Wake in a regional game. That's like the highest of highs, right? Like, you can't beat that. And then watching you this year, like, enjoying that, you know,
That kind
gives
of
me all the joy in the world, man. It gives me everything I need to just wake up the next day and keep doing it. So
no, without a doubt. And that, it reminded me of one question I had for you. When you joined the staff that summer of, I don't know, what was that, 23 summer? 23 summer.
yes.
I remember we played phone tag like 2 or 3 times, and then finally answered your phone call, because I think I was actually hitting, and you called me, and I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And but one thing I really appreciated was, like, hey, just wanted to, like, introduce myself, talk about hitting a little bit, like, kind of how I'm going to go about it. And you kind of viewed it as like a mutual 50-50 relationship. Like, hey, I know at this point, especially I was going into my senior year, so you're like, I know you understand, like, the swing and how stuff works, and I'm going to be here for you to offer tips and give you advice where I think, or maybe like a helpful tidbit here or there. But I understand that, like, you know your swing, you know what your goal at the plate is, but I also want it to be like 50-50, where you can bounce ideas off of me, I'll bounce ideas off of you, which is something I really appreciated. So, like, how important do you think that is with some of the hitters that come in, maybe that are younger or older, that you're just able to kind of understand their swing, but they're understanding their own swing as well and bouncing off ideas off of each other?
Yeah, I'm I don't know who said this. I certainly will not take credit for it. But I just believe that hitting is a total conversation as far as the swing goes. And even, like, there's different approaches, right? Like, having an approach is better than not having one, but there's multiple ways to do it, right? So same thing goes with the swing. So it's a conversation, and again, it goes back to kind of what I said before, of, like, if you guys are dedicated and you're motivated and you're willing to put in the work, then I have to be there with you. I have to help be a guide, I guess, not that I want to be like, not that I'm looking for, like, some sort of credit, right? But I also understand, like, a lot of you guys are, you're young, you're kids, you're trying to figure stuff out, and you're trying to, like, figure out what's important versus what's not important. And sometimes you get a kind of a clouded head. And my job is to kind of take that away and just, like, free you up, and also just throw stuff at you and see if it works for you. I don't think there's one way to hit. I draw a pause when people are tweeting or talking hitting, and it's like, and they talk in absolutes, because I think I've told you guys multiple times, like, I've had a lot of good hitters, and they've all been very different in the way that they do it. And I've, quite frankly, had some hitters with, like, swings where you're like, ugh, like, that doesn't look very good, but they do it. So, like, why do I need to put my own stamp on it? I don't. I just need to be there for them for whatever they need. And that's kind of how I like to go about it. Like, I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, but, like, the last thing I'll say about it is, like, when I think of the coaches that I grew up with in any sport, I was a hockey, baseball player, like, when I think back to the best ones, I don't necessarily think, like, oh, this guy knew it all. This guy had all the answers. It was the guy that was there for me, like day in and day out, and with really good intentions and wanted to help me succeed, in whatever it was that I was doing. Like, and that's kind of how I perceive that I want to be with guys. And that's also a reason why, and I'll make you laugh, Kory, like why I can be the way I am sometimes with you guys, because I know that I put in the time with you, and you know that, and it's like you handle it good when I have to jump you every now and again, like because it comes from a place of care and just wanting you guys to succeed, and that's probably the most gratifying part of it all.
I think that stuff is super important and often overlooked in coaching. Like I can relate kind of to what you said earlier about kind of knowing what it's like to go through those struggles in baseball. And we obviously know how mental the sport can be more than anything at times. And I feel like in some of my experience, it was like, hey, maybe I just need to like relax a little more than like make a few adjustments. Like I'm not far off. And no, I think that's just a very overlooked thing in coaching, is like, especially in our sport. But yeah, right. I think that's great stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I could relate to what he said. Absolutely.
Yeah. That like small little phone call, even especially with like a new coaching staff coming in, that small little phone call, just being like, hey, I'm not coming here to change your swing completely or do anything. We're just going to bounce ideas off of each other, see what sticks, see how I can help. I'll tell you what I'm seeing. You tell me what you're feeling. We'll see how we can go through it together. That meant a lot. Yeah, it was cool.
Absolutely.
I got one more question before we jump into these transfers. Going into year 3, other than Coach Dubs crushing wings at the boathouse, what is your favorite thing, or one or two of your favorite things that you've experienced just with this whole coaching staff being together for a few years?
Within the staff or as a program? Within the staff, I think it's the commitment to, we walk a really fine line. We walk a really fine line of like, as you guys know, like being really hard on you day to day with like the work. But then when the game comes, it's letting you go perform, right? And not like adding more fuel to the fire, because we totally understand. I think that's one of the best things that we do as a program, is we totally understand the level of competition that we're at and the pressure that some of you guys feel at times. And it's like, what does me losing my mind in the middle of a baseball game do for you? It does nothing but make you more uptight. And it's like, so I think that's probably one of our strengths. Obviously the dugout is the dugout and we're pretty loose. But there's a reason behind it, right? Like, I don't think we're doing it for what I just explained. We're not doing it to be perceived as chippy or be perceived as kids that run our mouths. Oftentimes our guys are making fun of each other more than the other teams. So, but I think that's probably the best thing, man, because it's such a gauntlet at times, man. And you're going in like that weekend, that 2-week span, Kansas TCU with Oral Roberts in between. Like we were treading water. We were kind of just walking that line of being like an NCAA tournament team or not. And it was hard. There was a lot of ups and downs. People forget that about this year. Like it was a roller coaster.
Especially
so I like the fact that we push you hard, but we also just go let you play when it's time to go play, and trust your skill set and trust your training.
Yeah. No, I love that. Obviously it's hard not to, just the way that some of these games have gone the past 2 years, whether it's blowing a big lead or being down 5 and coming back. But it seems like all you guys are just, it's fun to watch you guys in the dugout are like absolutely laser focused, whether we're up 10 or down 10.
Yeah. That's been an adjustment for me, man. I haven't always been that way. Like I guess that's called maturity maybe, but like I used to be out of control at times.
Maturity.
If I'm being told, but I just realized it doesn't help. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You gotta let them. You gotta play. You gotta let them play and try to find the fun in some of those pressure-packed moments.
I got one really quick question.
Go ahead, Cole. Go.
What's better, third base Coach Botch or first base Coach Botch?
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, I didn't need to know.
That's an unbelievable question.
I never got to ask you last year, so I wanted to know.
Did you like it? I mean, you had to.
I loved it. I did. It was my first time ever in the 13 years or whatever that I've been doing this. So obviously there was a little nerves, and there was a reason why I went out there for every single inter squad. I was just like, I need to be as comfortable as possible. But I loved it. It was fun. It's harder than people think it is. I certainly Kory can make fun of me for this now because we don't see each other anymore. But like I certainly made a couple mistakes, particularly early on that West Coast trip. And you just learn from them, and you feel bad, and it's funny. My dad called me last night to talk about. I don't know if you saw the play during the Red Sox game 2 nights ago. Guy didn't tag up. Center fielder throws it, and it was just an atrocious throw. And he's like, what is he? What's he doing? And I'm like, hey man, in that moment, man, you got like 2 seconds to really make a decision, and sometimes you make the wrong one. But I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a cool challenge, and Coach Dubs has taught me so much because he stood over there for 20 plus years throughout his career, and he taught me a lot. It's kind of funny. I just texted him like probably an hour ago because I saw a tweet about somebody stealing home, and I was like, hey man, I want to steal home a couple times this year too. Why don't you tell me what to look for, because I need to know, because I want to do it.
I think you should just start taking every dugout box, because there's nothing that fires me up more than watching Coach Dubs jog.
Run to the
dude, it's the best. Well,
it fires me up.
I swear to God, like at least 70% of our games this year, we were for some reason in the third base box. So Dubs was like, and Dubs got a new knee and everything. He's like,
new knee.
He's like, God, I gotta keep jogging over there.
In Knoxville, I would just start chugging every time he would start jogging over there.
The first game, we were in the stands. He looked up and saw us, and he pointed to his shoes and then just started his jog.
Yeah, he was fired up about his new kicks.
Yeah, he was fired up about the kids that sit above the visitors dugout at our place that just are ruthless.
Yeah, he loves it.
I'll look over there, and he's just like, we're in the middle of the game. He's just having like a full-blown conversation with them. He's like, those are my boys.
Yeah. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into these transfers. Got a lot of pitchers, only a few position players. So I know Coach Sheriff probably knows a little bit more about these pitchers than you may at this point. But let's start first off with the senior pitcher coming in from University of Illinois, Chicago, Dylan Schuler. Last year was his first year starting. I've noticed kind of a trend in a lot of these pitchers, and I know this is something that you guys kind of harp on from a pitching side, so I'm excited to see that. But he had a 5.5 ERA, 88.1 innings pitch, and he had 63 strikeouts to 40 walks. So that's kind of the trend that you'll continue to see is obviously you never truly, I've realized, especially in college too, you never truly understand a guy's ERA, whether it's kind of valid or not, unless you watch every inning or every game he's pitched.
Sure.
But obviously really good strikeout to walk numbers, and as a starter too, it's good stuff to see. So and anything you guys got on Dylan?
Yeah, no, he's a starter profile for sure. Obviously, we got Nate on the weekend, and then there's a lot up for grabs. So I think Coach Sheriff and Coach Bischel did an awesome job of just trying to identify, as strike throwing ability is number one. But then we got some guys, him included, that they got some stuff. He's 92, 95, and we haven't really had that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during our time here. So it's 3 pitches. It's slider 82, 85, changeup 83, 84. We'll see. We'll see how he does this fall. He'll get plenty of opportunity, just like the rest of them. So
yeah, that's good. I like the way I mean, you'll look at it one way or another, but it really stands out to me. We have 7 transfer guys coming in here, and 5 of them are pitchers. I think that just says a lot about you guys and what you guys are about over there in the office. But you guys trust the dudes who are coming back, and you want these guys as much as possible to come in and do their job and perform at the highest level. But it really just, I don't know, it really gives me that edge, because I love every single one of you guys in the office. So I'm just like, dude, these dudes get it, and these dudes want the success of this program, and these dudes coming back, and all the weapons that you got. Nate, you still got Marsh, you got all those dudes coming back, but it's really surprising, and it's really surprising to the outside group because everybody like all in. They got 7 transfers coming in, a lot of dudes left, blah blah blah. That's a talk on social media, but I love the way they kind of recruited, and you guys have worked your butts off this summer to get these guys in here. I know Sheriff did a lot, Bischel did as well, but these pitchers coming in with a lot of strikeouts and not a lot of walks is what they harp on the best, and they love that stuff. So you'll see the trend in these.
The coolest part about what you said, like, I think we're doing what we set out to do, which was when we got here, we were like, hey, because the 25 high school class was really our first, like, start to finish complete class, you know? And so this is the year they're rolling onto campus, and like Coach said, like, hey, we're gonna trend away from being a portal program and develop youth. And so to your point about like some of these sophomores and juniors and seniors that are back, you know, certainly we needed to thrust, you know, and inject some more options in there. But yeah, like we're banking on Carson, you know, making another step. We're banking on like the Hudson Johnsons and the Brandon Olivers of keep on developing and just keep getting better. You know, we're not a program that, like, if you're just totally, you know, a non-factor as a freshman, we're not just dumping you. You know, we're not just looking for a reason to dump you. Like, yes, there's been hard decisions, and that comes with high-level athletics. And there's been guys that have left our program, but, you know, that's just a part of it. And like Coach B pulled it up the other day, we were the second lowest or the lowest, I can't remember, of transfers departing in our conference. You know, and like I think it was 6. Yeah. And the highest in the league, I won't say their names, I think they had like 24 guys leave. Wow. You know, and that was a really good program. They won a lot of games this year. So, you know, we're sticking to the plan and what was kind of laid out, which is exciting. I like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, moving on to Adam Brouwer. He's another senior pitcher from Northern Illinois. He was a 2-year starter there. Had a 5.6 ERA, threw 141.2 innings. Another guy, 122 strikeouts and 51 walks. So obviously some good stuff and a lot of strikes being thrown out of the starting pitcher from NIU.
No doubt, yeah. He's got 2 different fastballs. He was a Friday guy for I think 2 years there. He's got some ride, you know, on the 4-seam, and he's got a slider and a changeup. Again, we'll see how it shakes out. There'll be an adjustment period for all these guys, you know, just like there is for everybody that's new that comes into the program and enters kind of this arena. But yeah, excited about him too.
Yeah.
I think the one that's going to correlate the most too with all the pitchers is, I think JP said it early on. It's just strike throwing. No, like how hard we harped on like defense. Like we worked on defense a lot. And when you guys were there for my 1 year, the easiest way to play defense is when you have a guy on the mound that's throwing strikes, especially in the outfield, because you can't fall asleep out there or anything. So I think that's going to be like the biggest correlation we see with all these pitchers is just going to be strike throwers. Right. Fill up the zone and let your defense be ready to play.
I know I've said it before. I think that's probably like from playing and then obviously leaving the program right before your guys' staff rolled in. That's probably the biggest thing I've noticed between those two is like I didn't think talent-wise like those two staffs were crazy different, but the numbers were totally different just because of how many strikes you guys were forced to like. We would walk the house and we were never ahead in counts and I don't know. It makes a huge difference in the game from the defensive side and just the pace and everything.
No doubt. It is, you know, you will not throw a pitch for Coach Bischel in a game if you do not fill up the strike zone, period.
Which I feel like we were at times, again, I'm not going to name any, but like we were forced to roll some guys out where like it was kind of a flip of the coin whether he was going to be in the zone or not.
Sure, totally. And that's across college baseball, man. Like that's not
no,
that's completely kind of like the nature of the game right now. It's we want power, which is going to create some swing and miss, and we want punchies, which is going to create some spray, right? So it's across the game. It's not just, you know, exclusive to our league or our program.
Right. Yeah. All right, and our next guy rolling in is a sophomore pitcher from right up the road at Miami of Ohio. He is a Covcath grad, Charlie Dieruf. He had a 5.9 ERA out of the pen through 24.1 innings. Another guy, he was a freshman last year, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks. So that's really good stuff to see out of the pen. Kind of reminds me of a similar season that Carson Marsh had his freshman year. So obviously there's got to be some good stuff there, and hoping he's able to, like you said, make some adjustments and make a jump into his sophomore year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way to put it is it's good. Like, it's a good fastball. It's 93, 96, and his off speed is developing. Super young, which I think as we go down this list, you'll see like a lot of them are underclassmen. And we're just hoping to kind of help him along, and hopefully he takes a jump with his secondary stuff and finds a big role for us.
Now, did he pitch against you guys last season at all?
I'm so bad at that stuff, man. Like, I am so bad.
I don't think he did. No,
at all. I don't think so. I think I would remember.
Played him like 12 times. It felt like.
Oh, dude, I know, it's unbelievable, and they're a great opponent. Like, it's good. It's awesome. We should, They were one of the best teams in the MAC this year.
Yeah.
So it's great.
They were regional. They were in your guys' regional.
Oh yeah,
right.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to play Miami in that regional just because they're not a bad team, and you guys had beat them 3 times already, and a couple of them were pretty close. I did not want to.
One was questionable.
Yeah. Carrington openly admitted that already. So
Carrington.
Yes.
But I ended up catching the dude working out. Shout out to him, great body figure. Wow. No, he was talking highly of himself to the other guy, so I was like, good for him. He's got the confidence rolling in, but I'm really proud of the coming back home type vibe he's got going on for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully
JP,
he's way closer to home than Miami.
Yeah.
Not that much closer.
Good for that guy coming back home, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hamilton Joe in the summer? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was.
Nice.
So he's just back in the city. He's getting dirty
that's
in Hamilton this summer.
Yeah, that's
All right, our next guy looks like Coach Bischel's going back to one of his previous schools to pluck a pitcher here. The junior pitcher from Northwood. Monroe. In 2025, he posted a 3 ERA with 48 strikeouts and 16 walks, and then he actually went up to do the Cape Cod League this summer and threw 11 innings and had 18 strikeouts and 2 walks, 3 earned runs. So
nice.
Obviously, people always have question marks when you have a guy coming from the Division II to the Big 12 level, but obviously great to see him go up to the Cape and compete against the best of the best in summer ball.
Yeah, it's big time back end stuff. That's the best way to put it. I'm not going to sit here and dub him the closer, but it is closer type stuff. And, we're really excited what he did up in Bourne. Really thrusted himself onto some radars, especially with some area scouts that happen to be up there. I recall getting a couple of texts from some guys that I know being like, holy cow, man, this is real. It's a fastball. It's 2 different, it's a cutter and a slider. And a changeup, and he's got like a big curveball. So we'll see. But it's high end, back end of the pen type stuff. So
let's go. We need some of those guys.
Yeah, man, they're a luxury. If you can shorten the game with 2 or 3 of those types of guys in your pen, it's like, all right, let's get to the 5th with the lead, and it's over type deal.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Cape Cod's a pitcher's league, though. KP, man.
I was going to say,
those fields are enormous.
I had like 160 there. I think that's genius.
We would joke because Cal hit 400, right? And
I don't know how. There's not even a batter's eye.
Well, it was a lot of singles, which he needs to do. He needs to learn how to hit. Like we talk about it all the time. He needs to learn how to be a hitter first. We all know he's big.
Probably trying to just put it in play up there.
Yeah, but he would be like, Coach, you don't understand. These fields are enormous.
They're terrible.
You can't see.
Chatham, the first game I played, I was facing a lefty. He was throwing from a white house in the background. And I was like, dude, what am I doing? This guy's like 93 to 95, and I can't see the ball.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jack Natilli must be just the best player ever then.
Natilli.
He is a good field to play at, though. They got trees in the background.
Yeah. He had a great summer as well. He's developed quite a bit, since getting on campus last fall too. I'm excited for him. He has a chance to.
That's a guy you originally recruited when you were at Rutgers, correct?
Yeah, I've known Jackson since he was 16, which is wild to think about. It makes me
Robotic
feel old.
motility.
That'd be like
But
what?
yeah,
22?
he was an under the radar kid, man. Like he
Dude.
and that's kind of I think where you can really make some money as a recruiter is like if you can turn over some rocks. Like Jack wasn't really on the circuit, if you will. Like he went to Atlanta once, but like largely he kind of played in his little bubble in Pittsburgh, and I don't even. Oh, I remember. I got a text about him, and then kind of the rest is history. But yeah, he's really taken off, and I'm so excited for what's ahead for him.
Yeah,
great walk-up song,
dude. He is the definition of like under the radar guy.
Yes, yeah, I'm so bad at that. I don't even remember his walk-up song. What is it?
The I come from a land down under.
Yeah,
I love that one.
And it's like, no, if you know him, if you talk to him in the locker room, like he is never in the locker room. He's saying "Pop Smoke" before every game, word for word, for 10 minutes straight. I'm like, dude, you're singing "Pop Smoke," and then he walks out. I'm
Yeah.
Great.
He's getting fives in before he hits a homer or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, our next guy. I'm really excited about this guy. I haven't seen him throw at all, but just from looks like he's got a pretty good frame and put up some pretty good numbers. The sophomore coming in from Louisiana, Monroe, Brennan Eager, left-handed pitcher. He started 13 games for them last season, posted a 3.79 ERA and 48 strikeouts and 9 walks. So obviously numbers speak for themselves. Good to throw a lefty in there. He's got some experience starting and kind of like we've talked about, just another young guy who can continue to make some jumps. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's elite strike throwing ability. It's like 88-90 with a plus changeup, and just high pitch ability lefty. Again, he'll compete for, a starter or whatever role that's best for the team. But like, yeah, it's elite strike throwing ability. Kind of like a la Kellen O'Connor, right? Like, just doesn't throw balls.
Well, people don't realize too, Kory, I can't remember if that was my junior or senior year, but Zach Root his freshman year. I mean, that's pretty much what he was, just a pitch ability lefty that threw 88-90, and then next thing you know, he's Arkansas's Friday guy a few years later throwing up to 98. So, I don't know.
Main thing with him, like he was throwing maybe low 90s, like he said.
He was throwing that cutter.
His changeup was disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
He threw it and then it just stopped halfway to the plate. And I was like, oh my God. And then his 91 looked like 95 basically after that.
I was
changeups, man.
I think I cut a ball for a single. They picked it up and it had like the whole split in it from the end of my bat. I was like,
yeah, as a lefty, I was never allowed to hit off him, but
yeah.
Our next guy, Logan Knight from North Dakota State. He's a senior right-handed pitcher. He was a 2-year starter there. 4.8 ERA, 156 innings, 145 strikeouts, 66 walks. So another guy, a lot of experience, a lot of innings on the mound, and a lot of strikeouts and a lot of strike throwing there.
Yep, high release guy. It's 2 different fastballs. Again, it's I kind of feel bad because it's like I'm saying the same thing over again, but it's strike throwing ability. I think he's got a little bit of a cutter too. So starter profile, we'll see where it goes.
This dude's 6'6".
6'6", 215.
That's
6'6". Yep, 215.
Iron Mike.
Yep.
Coming from up here. But yeah, I saw
2025
All Summit League second team, all tournament team. Honorable mention in 2024, but this dude he started 15 games in 2025, so he's got a lot of starting experience, so he knows what he's coming into, and I hope he rules a roost on like a Saturday or Sunday.
Let's go, Logan. Fire me up.
I love that. I feel like that's how it is every year for a lot of college teams as well, though. Is like bringing in, like you might have your Friday guys most likely solidified, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, we got all these other dudes who have starting profiles, and we kind of go through the fall, see what they can do, like see how they can withhold. Like I know in the past we've had like a lot of injuries and stuff, but it's like see how guys hold up, see what they do against our own hitters, see how they pitch against other teams in the fall, and then kind of base it off of that. And then even when the season starts, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe this isn't the best spot for you. I mean, we're going to move you around, see where we can make you the most successful. And I think that's kind of cool. Even like you said earlier, like across the sports, so many things are similar with so many programs, but just the ins and outs, the little details is different with each place you go.
100%, 100%. And I think, as the hope is in pitching is so, we talk about it all the time. It's just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I think it's the hardest part of evaluating players is just whether or not this pitcher is going to, how successful is this kid going to be? So yeah, coach does an unbelievable job of like, he provides plenty of opportunities, you guys know, between scrimmage, live ABs, the outside competition. And yeah, Cole, as you said, like, those first couple weeks in the spring, like we're trotting guys out there, seeing what we got, versus a different color uniform, and then roles kind of get more defined as we go.
I was going to say, even the last 2 years, we've kind of seen how much the pitching staff has changed throughout the season. Just as far, obviously, we had the 2 starters for the majority of the season, but I know like the year before they kind of messed around with Logan as the starter, and then like coming in after an opener, and I know they kind of did that on Sunday, so. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Like you got probably 6 guys that are starter profiles, and you kind of just match the pieces together and see what fits well.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey, North Dakota State, you know what he can do, right? He can pitch in the cold, baby. He can pitch in the cold.
That's right.
And yeah, I'm fired up for this. But no, what I was
probably knows how to watch some football too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that when you first said it. I got a little nervous.
but no, I was listening to Glory Days, Johnny Manziel podcast. Unreal guy, love Johnny Manziel. But he had Anthony Rizzo on. You know what Anthony Rizzo said? The 2 things that win you championships, World Series, pitching and defense. And I love the way you guys are bringing these 5-6 dudes in from a pitching standpoint. And I know Sheriff worked his butt off all summer for that. So
he did.
Hell yeah, props to him.
Taylor did just an unbelievable job.
Shout out Sheriff, baby.
Yeah, he's incredible. It's pretty relentless. Sometimes I classify it as a sickness. We joke about that all the time, but he's pretty relentless on the recruiting trail, man. And like he did not, from the time that thing opened to the time we were set, like he did not take a second off. And like I'm just thankful to be working with him, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. All right, well. The boring guys are out of the way. Let's get into the 2 position players that we got rolling in. First guy, Conlan Daniel. If you didn't listen to his episode from a few weeks ago, he was our most recent guest we've had on. Sophomore transfer from Wright State. His dad, he is a Cincinnati kid, went to Moeller. His dad actually played for Cincinnati. I played for his dad a little bit growing up. Great family. I'm not surprised that he turned into a great athlete. This kid can – honestly, this is like position player-wise when you think of like what Bischel Ball is from seeing him play and looking at his numbers. Like he looks like he can do a little bit of everything out there. He hit .314 with 8 doubles and 6 homers in his freshman year. Had a .467 on base, which – I know Coach Bischel is probably salivating over, and a 14 stolen bases to go on top of that. So, again, you've seen him. He was on SportsCenter a couple times. Love the kid when he came on. Seems like he's got a great head on his shoulders, too. Really good kid. And, yeah, I'm excited that we were able to get him back home in a Bearcat uniform.
Yeah, no doubt. And, he played in Vermont this summer. He was an all-star in the NECBL. I think at the end of the year just recently, he was an all-NECBL second teamer, but just an explosive skill set. I know Dubs is just, like, dying for the first day.
He probably ran 14 stolen bases. Like that's at least doubling.
Well, he was second in the league this summer. It was I can't remember the exact number. I think, but it was in like the high 20s, maybe low 30s. So
this summer he had 31 stolen bases.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, 31.
That'll apply.
Just excited about his skill set, and as you said, JP, like he fits what we do really well, and I think he's just starting to kind of scratch the surface, to be honest with you, of like the player he's going to be. So I'm really excited. It is going to be, excuse me, a blast watching him and Derrick track down fly balls in the outfield all fall, because
that's what I said to him.
Like
I mean,
a
it's going to be
six-man
awesome.
Field and just throw those two out there, left center, right center, and say, go.
Yeah,
You
totally.
got two center fielders out there.
He's
that'll be
media
a lot
trained
of
too,
fun.
by the way. Dude is
Huh?
media trained. He was very well spoken on the podcast.
Yeah.
Good for that guy. But there's a
Yep.
trend. I see you see the trend. Cincinnati kid went an hour away, played unreal in the Horizon, was on SportsCenter top 10, went to the NACBL, played his balls off, and he's coming back to Cincinnati. I mean, you can't ride it any better than that. And he wants to come back here. And I texted one of my buddies that pitched at Wright State. I said, Daniel to the Bearcats, let's fucking go. And he said he could have went somewhere better. I said, that somewhere better is Cincinnati. That somewhere better is Cincinnati, because there's those guys that play that good and they want to come back here. And these coaching staff and those guys in the office at UKP are just doing an unbelievable job at getting those guys back here and seeing these guys stand out in these leagues. I mean, look at it. We got a North Dakota, we got Miami, we got NIU, Northwood. These guys from these small schools that stand out and work their butt off all year, all 2-3 years, and then they come to a school like that just to shine and show their abilities to play is amazing.
No doubt.
Coach, I'm kind of curious. I know it's not like the biggest thing, but obviously all three of us being from Cincinnati, I know like your staff doesn't have many deep ties to the city, but obviously with your experience from coaching some of these guys, do you think it's important to kind of have a few guys that are from Cincinnati on the roster that really kind of may or may not take more pride in playing for the university that others might?
It's a tough question for me, because yes, I do think that there's value to that. I really do. But at the end of the day, no matter where you're from, like, we just want guys that want to wear this and want to be around this and like immerse themselves into it. So yes, we're always checking our backyard, if you will, to see what's out there, and we're working on that now in some younger classes. But at the end of the day, like, we just want the guys that, when, as I told you kind of about our recruiting strategy and getting kids to campus, like, we just want the kid that when they see it and then when they converse with us, there's a developing relationship and a foundation of trust and a true understanding of like what we do and how we do it. Like, at the end of the day, that in my mind, is the most important thing. However, like, when I see Kory or Cole or even just this podcast and just the sense of pride that I feel that through you guys, it drives me to make sure that, like, hey, the local kids that can do it and have the ability, like, yeah, you need to look here first, man, because it's special. It means something. And I'll never forget. I know there's a clip of it on the highlights, but just Kory and I during the selection show, like, it was just pure. Yeah. That was real, man. Like, that wasn't. Yeah. I could feel kind of his pride that, like, yeah, he was a part of something that this place hasn't done in a long time. And like, that is so powerful. And again, one of the reasons why I enjoy this job.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff.
100%.
And our last guy coming in, the sophomore infielder from Bradley, Jackson Smith, another guy who kind of seems like he's another just twitchy athlete with a lot of room for growth and kind of can do a lot of things offensively and on the bases. He hit for a 301 average with 8 doubles, 1 homer, or 3 homers, 1 triple, and 10 stolen bases. So what can you tell us about Jackson Smith?
Yeah, so Jackson went out to the Prospect League this summer. He was leading the league in hitting, and then he got sick, which resulted in kind of a lot of weight, which we talked about. And the kid is a ball player to a T. Like, he did not want to leave. Period. He's like, Coach, I want to win a batting title. But we were kind of concerned that, hey, like, if you come in at this weight, like, you might be physically behind. And so the summer ball coach was awesome about it too, like, super understanding. But yeah, he, his walk to strikeout ratio, I think both at Bradley and this past summer was off the charts as well. I think it was over 1-to-1, if I recall. Yeah. And he's just a left-handed kid that can run and play somewhere in the middle infield. I'm very excited to get with him every day. And again, similar to Conlan, like, just scratching the surface of the player that he's going to be. And that's kind of what we did with this class. It's a lot of underclassmen that did some really good stuff that still have another jump in there. So.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, considering we had Kory out there at second base last year, I'm glad we got another infielder coming in.
I'll never forget that, man. We're like San
It was
Diego.
in.
It was the
No,
West
it was
Coast.
UNLV. I think.
UNLV, I went out there on the Monday because we played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and our whole infield went down on Sunday, Monday. So I was like, you threw me out there on Monday. I mean, I made a play or two.
Yeah, but dude, when I said that, like, do you not remember what I said to you? I was like, hey, we probably won't do this, but
Friday.
just get out there and like get comfortable or something. Like, as best
few ground balls, make it.
Yeah.
And then immediately Kory played second base.
I'm
there
Monday night.
He looks up the shifts. He's like, "Is that Klingenbeck out there?" I didn't think we were actually doing that.
Yeah. But I think
we fly to UC San Diego.
That's right.
You turned a double play, Kling? No chance.
He did, man. He did.
It looked good doing it.
I remember threw a ball to the moon that he blamed on Tommy O'Connor. So
Tommy wasn't tall enough.
Tommy was just like, hey, man, like we talk about, like, hey, better chance if you keep it low or something like that. And I remember Kling like clapping back at Tommy and being like, dude, you could have caught that and stayed on the bag or something. And the throw was just like nowhere close. It was.
I remember I came to a random inter squad in the fall, and I think like late innings, like I was like, is that Kling at second? And then like kind of totally forgot about it. And I think Kory sent me a Snapchat before that UNLV game of just like a second base glove and said like, you ready for this? And I was like, dude, no way. Like,
hey, I joke about that one throw, but Kory, like outside of that one throw, man, and you were out there, I don't know, probably 10 to 15, 16 times this year. Like outside of that one throw, you made every single play.
Every play. Because we remember how, oh my God, you remember how we were at Duke and I was taking I was taking BP grounders and I couldn't turn to my right and flip it with my feet. I would flip my hips and throw my arm, or I'd flip my feet and then throw it like this.
Yes, I had to go out there and like
we got to UNLV. We got to UNLV and I was doing IO and oh my God, it was probably the worst 3-4 days of IO like I've ever seen in my life. Meanwhile, I'm the one out there at second base. And yeah, I played all 4 games at UC San Diego out there at second. And you were talking about that one error I made, but it was like, holy. And then I played against, it was.
You just gave me props before that, Brent.
Well, of course I'm going to talk about the one error. It was funny.
Yeah, I didn't know you got soft. I didn't know you got soft on us, Kling.
I didn't
thought
even
you were from the west side.
Hear you. I didn't even hear you, but no. That was because Tommy didn't even stretch because of the ball was heavy.
Kory, the throw was nowhere close.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, you know as well as anybody, I would always tell Tom when he was wrong.
That is true. It's pretty easy to tell Tommy he's wrong too. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Tom. I love you, Tom.
Yeah,
whatever.
He's a cool dude.
All right. Well, after talking about all of those dudes, and obviously, like you mentioned, your guys' first freshman class rolling in, and then some of the big names that we kind of watched get better and better throughout this last season. Looking at kind of how you guys may start to piece the puzzle together this fall, I guess just talk about kind of how excited you guys are about this roster coming in all together in the fall.
Yeah, I think that group that we just talked about, and then these freshmen that are coming in, I'm jacked up about it. Again, with freshmen, you guys all know, I know what it's like to jump in that arena for the first time, and it takes a while, and sometimes it takes a whole year, right? So we'll see, but there's a lot of talent in that class, on the pitching side of things and as a position player. And I think the coolest part that I'm looking forward to this year is when you look across the field outside of like a couple of spots, like everything's wide open, right? And when everything's wide open, your fall segment gets that much more competitive, right? Versus the years where, let's say you're returning 7 or 8 starters and it's like, well, sometimes that stuff slows down a little bit, but the competition day in and day out this fall, I expect to be kind of through the roof, because there's just so many capable players on this roster, especially positionally that I feel great about. So we'll see how it goes. But, again, as I kind of said led the call off, we just want to keep making more strides, more steps. And it's hard to wrap my head around the spring right now because we start Tuesday, and we'll see how that goes. And just I can't wait to watch the boys compete every day. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
when
that's
was
exciting.
that?
I'm pumped.
That first fall game against Purdue on September 27th.
Yeah, let me confirm this for you. This is probably not an appropriate thing to do on a podcast to scroll on the computer,
That's
but
all right.
I'm
I'm glad you're just locked in on the first 3 weeks of individuals.
Yeah, no, well, I just wrote it down like an hour ago because I kept forgetting. Yeah, so September 27th, we're home against Purdue, and then October 11th, we're on the road at Pitt.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I guess not really much else to talk about the team. We don't really need to go. We know who the dudes are. We know who the guys are coming in. I guess I feel like the year before, correct me if I'm wrong, there weren't a ton of freshmen or young position players. But last year, when you see guys like Quinton Coates and Derrick Pitts who weren't even cracking the lineup in those first couple weeks and then kind of transform into some of the better hitters in the lineup, do you think it's anything that you guys are doing specifically that kind of helps them grow and mature maybe quicker than others? Or do you think that's just all about those two kids?
I mean, it's first and foremost about like their fortitude and their commitment. Like the one thing I can say about both of those guys, and they'll tell you this, like they both struggled. Like Derrick had a below average fall for his standards, and I think Quinton showed a little more like spurts of electricity offensively, but defensively he was behind, right? And I think that's a testament to them, and like they put their head down and they worked regardless of if they were in the lineup, or not. They never stopped trying to help the team by bettering their skill set, so I think it's first and foremost that. And then I think it's if my responsibility as someone who's in the cages with them every day, if I just let them cash it in, if you will, then I'm letting them down too, right? So, but it's all about the players and like their internal kind of motivation and desire to be great and help the team, and those two never gave up on that, even when like there were some spurts where like they could have and they
easily.
didn't. So it's baseball's a weird game, man. It's like one day you feel like you're blind as a hitter, and you're swinging at everything in the dirt, and then you have runs where you're just like the thing's the size of a beach ball, and they learn to kind of navigate their ups and downs as true freshmen, and they both homered in the first game of the regional, I believe. So
Yeah,
it was just a really cool ending, and that's my message to a lot of these young guys, these recruits that I talk to, is like, hey man, because that's what they want to know, right? Like, is there an avenue for me to play immediately? It's like, well, there's always an avenue, right? Like
Always.
the regular freshman like this year is going to walk in and they're going to see Jack, they're going to see Cal, and they're going to see Quinton, and they're going to see Derrick, and they're going to be so caught up with like trying to chase them. And my job is to reel them in and say, hey man, don't worry about them. Like, you worry about you, and then let's see where that takes you. That's like I feel a common young guy thing to do, is to like come in and kind of try to alpha everybody, when at the end of the day, like, you don't need to do that. You just need to put your head down and work, and like everything else will take care of itself. And that's a hard thing for a young person, I think, for all of us, myself included, as a player, to really wrap your head around, because you're so geared to like your end goal that like that's all you care about. You get distracted and sidetracked by like stuff that's really not important, like what the guy next to you is doing. So just keeping them focused, and that's my role in it. Like just not letting them go down that road of like wanting to just cash it in and looking ahead towards the following year, and they didn't do that, and that takes a lot of willpower. So credit to those two in a big way for sticking with it through some really, really hard times for them.
Yeah. Now, if you could name any were there any guys, maybe position player wise, that young guys that are promising, but maybe just didn't find that avenue to the field last year or just weren't ready to play yet that you guys may be excited about?
Yeah, I think, one is a kid that played a lot, that played a big role, but like I think the kid would tell you, sorry, I'm getting a pop-up. He maybe wasn't anticipating having the role that he ended up having, but like I'm excited to see what Charlie does this year again. Like take another step, dude. I think he hit like 290, if I'm not mistaken. On base, pretty solid. Obviously, he's talked to me and everybody about like trying to get a little more thump going, but like he stuck to the approach and like he played in a big way. So I'm really excited to see him try to make another jump in year 2. And then, Ryan Tyranski, you saw what he did in the Northwoods this summer. That's really exciting too.
He was a guy. He was one of the guys last year in the fall that just watching at bats. And now, mind you, last fall I had no idea who any of these new guys were, transfers or freshmen. And he was just a guy that the few at bat. Now it could have been just a random day that I saw, but just looked like he was pretty comfortable in the box. He's obviously got a big frame, and I don't know. We know how the ball flies if you get it up in the air to right field at UC. So. Yeah.
I mean, 2 home runs at Indiana last fall.
Yeah,
it's been flashes of real power, especially to the pull side. I think for Ryan, we'll see what he's been doing all summer. We talked a little bit throughout, but I think it's just the commitment to the bigger parts of the field. While being able to pump some balls out to the pull side, that I think will be a game changer for him because he's, as you said, he's big and strong. Like that kid can leave the yard to left center field. Like there's no doubt. So I'm excited to see what he does too. It should be good. Good.
Well, we'll wrap this up with maybe a few closing questions. I know I forgot to ask you earlier. I usually ask all of our Cincinnati people, but
mad at you. I was about to bring it up.
Yeah. What do you think about Skyline? And if you love it, what's your order?
He doesn't
Not
like
a fan.
I don't know if I should say this, dude. I haven't had it.
No.
I haven't had it.
No way.
I haven't had it.
I would have pegged you as like at least once a week.
I don't know. At least you just came out and admitted that. Nate Taylor came on and was just almost bragging about how all he's eaten his whole life is just noodles and cheese.
Yeah, that was.
He's never actually had the chili.
No, listen. We should. If I'm allowed
I'll take
to come
you
back
to
on
Skyline.
this,
I will take you to Skyline.
if I'm allowed back on this thing, I promise you the next time I will have a legitimate review. I'll tell you one thing. I absolutely love hot dogs. We're coming to the end of hot dog season. I absolutely pulverize them all summer long.
Yeah.
I will get like the chili
hammered about 4.
Yeah, like every time with just a giant soda, just destroying my body. So if I'm allowed back here at some point, I will make sure to go get it, and I will give you a detailed review of Skyline chili.
We got.
Well, I kind of want like a live video of you and Winsky just crushing conies.
You gotta get Domes on here, man. That would be electric. You want to talk about gaining views?
The dude
I
onto this thing.
I brought this up to them, and they kind of made it sound like they didn't know if he'd be into it.
Yeah, I'll get him on here.
All right,
I'll do it. I'll get him on for you.
Yeah,
you gotta get him on, man.
Yeah,
the amount of soda and Skyline and everything is just magnetic. He will give you his order to a T.
And people don't realize how freaking big that guy is. Like
he's
you see
enormous.
him on first base.
He's
like he looks like your
6'8",
coach,
bro.
but you stand next to him and he's ginormous.
Dude, have you seen pictures of him like in his 20s and 30s?
No.
He probably was like
unit.
Was he like an NFL tight end?
Yes, like he was Gronk before Gronk. Like
shout out Coach Dubs. I hope he's listening.
Love that guy.
Oh, that is good stuff. Well, do you guys have anything else before we wrap this thing up?
Nah, I appreciate it, KP. It was fun having you on, man.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Coach has probably got to tell us.
Let's do this
kid,
after the
good night.
fall or spring preview.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the fall, we'll get you back on here.
Yeah, I'll have some a little bit better insight.
I'll take you to Skyline. I'll buy you Skyline.
Let's do it. I'll do it. I got to do it for you guys. I can't. I've never acknowledged it publicly that I've never had it, and I feel
That's
shame.
all right.
I feel shame.
I hope
We'll
there's
fix
not
it.
a million
We'll
people
fix
listening to this.
All right. Well, that will wrap us up. Obviously, we've been running for an hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But, Coach, appreciate you coming on. Kory, welcome to the show. Pumped to have you. And, we'll probably give these guys a few weeks to get going, and then we'll be back with a fall check-in maybe after that first game or so. But we'll definitely be back on here soon talking some Bearcats baseball. So thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, we love everybody's time, but if you made it this far, feel free to subscribe, join us every Thursday night, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thanks again, guys.
Yes,
See
sir.
you, KP.
See you, KP.